In the heart of a vast desert, long before Egypt raised its pyramids or Rome built its empire, there was Sumer, the world's first civilization, a place where human history truly began. Imagine the dawn of cities, when people first tamed rivers, shaped clay into bricks, and carved laws into stone. This was not a myth, not a legend. It was the first spark of everything we now call civilization. Thousands of years ago, in the fertile lands between the Tigris and Euphrates, humans dared to do what had never been done. They built a world from the dust. They invented writing tiny marks pressed into wet clay that carried stories, prayers, and power. They created kings, temples that touched the sky, and gods who ruled both heaven and earth. Every sunrise over Sumer was a miracle, a new chapter in humanity's story written by hands that had just learned what it meant to build, to rule, and to dream. But where there is creation, there is also pride. The cities of Sumer, Uruk, Ur-Lagash began to fight not for survival, but for supremacy. Armies marched across land once shared by farmers, and temples once devoted to gods now became monuments to kings. The rivers that had once fed life now carried blood and ruin. As power grew, so did greed. The rulers who had once been chosen by the gods began to believe they were gods. Still, even as chaos spread, Sumerians continued to build wonders. They measured time, charted stars, and created the idea of government. They wrote of heroes, Gilgamesh, the king who sought immortality, who walked the path between gods and men. But immortality would not come to Sumer, the land that had once given birth to humanity. First cities began to crumble under the weight of its own brilliance. The soil turned to dust, the rivers shifted, and the gods fell silent. One by one, the cities of Sumer faded into sand. The grand ziggurats that had pierced the heavens now stood as empty towers, haunted by the whispers of forgotten kings. And as the people left, carrying their stories north and west, they unknowingly spread the seeds of civilization itself. From Sumer's fall came Babylon, Assyria, Persia, and from them the world we know today. No one remembers the exact day the first city died, but the echo of Sumer never vanished. Every law, every city, every written word we have today traces back to those ancient riverbanks. The rise of Sumer was the rise of humanity, and its fall was our first lesson, that even the greatest civilizations can vanish, but their ideas can live forever. The ruins still whisper beneath the sands of Iraq, the cradle of all that we are. Once, long ago, the world's first people stood there, looked up at the stars, and realized they could shape their own destiny. That moment, that first flicker of ambition, is the reason we exist.